At New Balance, we believe if you run, you're a runner, however you choose to do it. Because when you're not worried about doing things the right way, you're free to discover your way. And that's what running's all about. Run your way at newbalance.com/running.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Born on this date in 1934, Hammer and Hank Aaron of Mobile. In 1944, guitarist J.R. Cobb of Birmingham. In 1950, Auburn and NFL wide receiver Terry Beasley of Montgomery. And in 1973, NFL defensive end Israel Raybon of Huntsville. Today is National Weather Person's Day. Now, most of us know, or at least know of, a meteorology type.
Why do you say stuff like that and then I gotta say, no?
Yep, that's one of them right there. Never throw away your outtakes, folks. Today, let's talk about what Ivey said about crime at the State of the State speech. And we have stories that affect space in Huntsville, healthcare in Montgomery, mayors in Mobile, and more. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. Governor Kay Ivey told the Alabama State Legislature that public safety is her top priority during the session that just started, reports AL.com's Mike Kaysen. Ivey laid out her agenda in her 8th State of the State address Tuesday at the Capitol in Montgomery. Now, one piece of that will be an attempt to expand a Montgomery crime-fighting program called MAX, or the Metro Area Crime Suppression Unit. With MAX, law enforcement officers from numerous agencies, ALEA, the Alabama Attorney General's Office, the Montgomery Police Department, the Montgomery Sheriff's Office, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives collaborate to target violent crime and coordinate investigations. In other words, without getting too much in front of myself, we could see MAX units theoretically show up in other cities. The governor also wants to add legal protections for police. Alabama Law Enforcement Secretary Hal Taylor said the threat of civil and criminal actions against officers makes it difficult to recruit officers. Ivey said she would support a state ban on Glock switches. That's the device that turns a semi-automatic firearm into a fully automatic machine gun. A bill that would allow electronic monitoring of high-risk juvenile offenders, and a Second Chance Act for some criminal offenders. Now, also on the first day of the session, as expected, State Senator Garland Gudger, a Coleman Republican, won the vote to become President Pro Tem. That's the grand poobah of the Alabama Senate. Of this current legislative session, Gudger said priorities include protecting families and values, promoting government efficiency and transparency, and supporting the feds in fighting illegal immigration. He also left the door slightly cracked open on lottery and other gambling. Cracked open just enough so that I could mention it here on this show for the 8,714th time in 8 years. Gudger voiced concern over all the money that Alabamians spend on other states' lotteries. Now, don't cash out your 401k to invest in your lotto retirement plan just yet. Last year's annual gambling package fail seems to have killed the energy behind the effort, and other legislative leaders have said a lottery package is not a priority this time around. Elected officials in Alabama aren't the only ones clamoring for another U.S. Space Command headquarters redirect. Now remember, the Air Force selected Huntsville's Redstone Arsenal as the permanent headquarters. Then former President Biden nixed that in favor of keeping HQ at its interim site in Colorado Springs. Both Alabama's U.S. senators and North Alabama Congressman Dale Strong have introduced a resolution calling on President Trump to reverse that reversal. After Alabama and Colorado officials have spent years in that wrestling match, A fresh batch of Ohio lawmakers are now charging into the ring. AL.com's John R. Roby reports that Ohio's state legislature passed a joint resolution pitching Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, as a future home of Space Command HQ. The U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee received their petition on Monday. There are currently 2 reviews of the Air Force's selection process taking place. Financially troubled Jackson Hospital in Montgomery has now filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, reports AL.com's Savannah Trians-Fernandez. Hospital officials say it's staying open and that the filing will not affect patient care. The hospital recently asked the Montgomery City Council to guarantee a $20.5 million loan. It did not. Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed said he still wants to find ways to support the hospital, and state lawmakers issued a statement acknowledging that the hospital's value is felt well beyond Montgomery. A report from the Alabama Hospital Association last year found that hospital margins were down dramatically since the pandemic, and that about half of Alabama's hospitals were losing money. Well, have you ever worked a job where there was just never enough money in the budget for the raise they wanted to give you? Then, when you did leave the job, they hired your replacement at a much more competitive salary. Well, you have to wonder whether Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimpson feels a little like that. But if he is, he's not letting on, because he's praising the Mobile City Council's vote to raise the pay of the next mayor. AL.com's John Sharp reports that the next mayor in Mobile will make $70,000 more in salary. Now, that'll take the annual haul to $195,000. As of now, the highest for a mayor in Alabama. Tuscaloosa's Mayor Walt Maddox makes around $177,000 to currently lead the state. Last year, Bessemer approved a pay package for its next mayor that'll top $180,000. Now, Stimpson won't be running for re-election in this August election. He said he knows people who would qualify to be mayor, but would have had to take a pay cut. He said the new pay level might persuade more people to run. Now, on the other side of that same coin, Councilman William Carroll said he was concerned people might be running more for the salary than they are for the service. Thank y'all so much for listening to us. We're going to be back here again tomorrow. Until then, as always, you're welcome to come see what we're working on anytime you want to on the World Wide Web at al.com.